Men, if you're feeling a shift in your wife lately and you can't quite put your finger on it, pay attention. I'm going to tell you something most women would never admit out loud, and it's going to change the way you see your relationship. You see, when a woman steps outside the boundaries of fidelity, her entire world shifts, her priorities change, her energy changes, and the subtle ways she's acting now, they aren't random, they're signs, real signs. Signs that if you notice them, could save your heart before it shatters. Before we dive in, I want you to take a moment. Look around your home, notice the little things that feel off, the sudden coldness, the small irritations that flare out of nowhere, the moments when she's just distant. Now, hold on to that thought, because what I'm about to tell you isn't theory. This isn't something I read in a book or pulled from a relationship forum. This is real-world psychology, female behavior decoded. And once you understand these patterns, you can't unsee them. Here's the truth most men don't want to hear when a woman cheats. It's not just a physical act. It's an emotional earthquake that changes everything about how she operates. Every interaction you thought was normal starts to feel charged with a hidden tension. The way she looks at you, the way she talks, even the way she laughs, there's a new undertone to it, a rhythm that wasn't there before. And if you're too close, you'll miss it. You'll convince yourself it's nothing, that you're imagining things. But your gut knows. Your instincts know, and they're screaming for you to see the truth. Let's talk about the first shift. Her phone. It's no longer just a device. It's become an extension of her life. Suddenly, it's glued to her hand, always face down, always within reach. She's taking it everywhere, hiding it from view, guarding it as if it contains the world's secrets. And in a way, it does. Every notification, every buzz, could be a hit of excitement, a thrill she no longer feels with you. And it's not just about hiding evidence, it's about maintaining an emotional lifeline to someone else. Every glance at that screen, every smile when a message comes in, it's feeding a secret reality that you're no longer part of. Now, men, watch her energy. Notice how she reacts when you ask simple questions. How was your day? What's for dinner? What time will you be home? That irritation from nowhere isn't about you. It's about the stress of carrying two realities at once. She's living a double life emotionally, mentally, physically, and every small interaction with you now feels like pressure on her, like an interrogation she didn't sign up for. Every caring word you speak suddenly becomes control. Every touch suddenly feels suffocating. And slowly, subtly, you start walking on eggshells, questioning your every move, censoring yourself, trying not to trigger her. And then there's that glow. That radiant energy she suddenly seems to carry. You notice it in her smile, the way she carries herself, the way she dresses differently, experiments with her appearance, or takes extra time in front of the mirror. And yet, here's the cruelest part. It isn't for you. It's not sparked by your love or attention. It's coming from somewhere else. Somewhere exciting, forbidden, thrilling. That glow isn't just about her looking good. It's about the rush of feeling desired in ways you no longer provide. And when you compliment her, you notice a strange reaction, like your attention is an intrusion, like you're not part of that high anymore. And the intimacy. If you've noticed a change in the bedroom, listen carefully. She might still be physically present, but emotionally, she's elsewhere. Eye contact is fleeting. Touches feel rehearsed or distracted. And sometimes there's a sudden intensity, a boldness that feels unfamiliar. It's confusing because her body is there, but her connection with you isn't. Something has shifted. Even when you're close, there's an invisible distance. She's performing, not sharing, and you feel it. Deep down, you know something is missing, but it's hard to put into words. And the defensiveness. Men, watch how she reacts even when you're not attacking her. A simple compliment might get twisted into a critique. A casual question becomes a confrontation, and slowly, without you realizing it, Your normal love and care become ammunition for her story of justification. Because when someone cheats, guilt is always awake, always whispering, always searching for a way to justify the impossible. She begins projecting, seeing suspicion in your eyes that isn't there, hearing accusations in your voice that you never intended. She's creating distance before you even notice, making your love feel suffocating, when in reality, it's your presence that's highlighting the guilt she can't face. And finally, the way you suddenly become the problem. Every habit, every quirk, every normal behavior of yours starts to feel like a flaw in her eyes. Things that never bothered her before now become unbearable. Men, this isn't about you. This is her mind trying to reconcile her choices. It's cognitive dissonance at its finest. She can't be the villain and a good person at the same time, so she rewrites the story. You're no longer the faithful husband. Now you're the one who drove her away, who didn't satisfy her, who pushed her to seek excitement elsewhere. Your love becomes suffocation, your care becomes control, and every word you speak is filtered through her guilt-ridden lens. And men, notice how these changes affect the rhythm of your home. The small moments you once shared, the morning coffee, the casual jokes, even simple eye contact across the room, they're no longer the same. There's a subtle shift, almost imperceptible at first, but your instincts feel it. She's present, but her attention is elsewhere. Her mind is weaving stories, her emotions are entangled somewhere you can't reach, and the energy in the house begins to feel off. You can sense the tension before words are spoken, that quiet dissonance that sits heavy in the air, and it's exhausting even if you can't put your finger on why. Now, let's talk about the ways she communicates, or doesn't. You'll notice patterns. Maybe she starts texting less openly with you, answering questions vaguely, or suddenly she's always busy when you try to connect. And when you press, she overreacts, snaps, or shuts down. This isn't just moodiness. This is her mind protecting itself, maintaining the boundaries she's built between her double lives. The simplest words from you become triggers because they pull her attention back to something she's trying to hide, and the guilt that comes with it becomes too heavy to bear. And yet, she still wants the illusion of closeness, sometimes more than ever. She might plan date nights, act extra affectionate, or even push for intimacy. But there's a difference now, men. It's subtle, but if you pay attention, you can feel it. The warmth is slightly off. The connection isn't quite real. It's performance, a reenactment of intimacy that used to be organic. She wants you to feel like everything is normal so she can continue her secret without suspicion. And your desire to hold on, your need to preserve the bond, only strengthens the illusion she's carefully crafting. And notice how her moods start to control your day. A casual remark from you can trigger irritation. A normal expression of care can make her defensive. She's training you without even realizing it, teaching you to step lightly, to avoid certain topics, to censor yourself. And over time, this subtle conditioning rewires your own behavior. You start doubting your instincts, questioning your perceptions, thinking maybe you're the one misreading everything. But men, trust me when I say this, your gut rarely lies. That unease, that discomfort, that silent alarm you feel, pay attention to it. It's your mind picking up on what her actions are trying to hide. Then there's the constant need for validation, but not from you. She might start posting more online, sending subtle messages, seeking approval in places you can't touch. And it isn't just vanity. It's a need for excitement, for attention, for that emotional rush she's chasing elsewhere. You might notice sudden changes in her style, her habits, her interests. She's not changing for herself. She's adapting to someone else's influence. And the person she's becoming is slowly drifting away from the version you married. And the most painful part, you'll see the spark, the vibrancy, the thrill return. But it won't be because of your love. It will be fueled by a secret she can't or won't share with you. Men, listen carefully. When a woman cheats, she's not just breaking promises, she's altering the emotional landscape of your shared life. She becomes unpredictable. Small irritations escalate. Words are filtered through guilt. Compliments are deflected or twisted. Physical intimacy may feel mechanical, but even when it's passionate, there's a hidden layer you can sense. Her connection is no longer entirely yours, and every effort you make to restore closeness, to recapture what you once had, can unintentionally reinforce her separation. Because the truth is, men, she's addicted to the new energy, the thrill, the uncertainty. And your steady, consistent love, which should be a gift, feels to her like predictability, boring, safe, and insufficient for the emotional high she's chasing. And the manipulation isn't always overt, it's subtle, almost invisible if you're not looking for it. She'll find ways to justify everything in her mind, to make herself feel like the victim, and to cast you as the problem. Maybe it's a sharp remark about the way you eat, or how you handle chores, or even something as trivial as your tone of voice. Suddenly, these small, harmless things become symbols of your failure, the evidence she needs to say to herself, "He didn't satisfy me. He didn't understand me. I had to find it elsewhere." And what's worse is that this conditioning can make you complicit. You start walking on eggshells, questioning your instincts, doubting yourself, censoring your words. You tiptoe around the very person whose love you thought was unconditional, all while she's quietly creating the space she needs to maintain her secret. And notice the stories she tells others. Casual mentions of friends, family conversations, even online comments. They start to change. She reframes your relationship in her mind, telling herself a narrative that allows her to be comfortable with her actions. And little by little, that story leaks into the way she interacts with others. You might catch it, maybe not. But the truth is, the narrative she's building in her head isn't about what you did or didn't do. It's about protecting her choices, and slowly, that narrative begins to define the reality of your shared life. This is why men, you feel that slow erosion of trust, the subtle tension in your home, the creeping uncertainty in every interaction. It's not paranoia, it's not imagination. It's your instincts noticing the patterns of behavior that are very real. And as she doubles down on secrecy, defensiveness, and emotional separation, you begin to feel disconnected, frustrated, confused. And even if you don't realize it yet, all of this, the anger, the distance, the strange new glow, the emotional highs she's chasing elsewhere, is all part of the same shift. The shift that starts when fidelity is broken. And men, here's the hardest truth: when a woman steps into this secret life, she isn't just betraying you, she's betraying herself. She's breaking the integrity she once carried, compromising the trust she once honored, and reshaping her own character to fit the story she's telling herself. Every justification she whispers in her mind, every narrative she builds to make herself feel justified, chips away at her own capacity for real intimacy. She may appear radiant, confident, alive, but that light comes from a borrowed spark, from someone outside your relationship, from an excitement she can't sustain with you. And as you watch it, you feel the emptiness creep in. You feel the distance where closeness once lived. You feel the betrayal not just in actions, but in the invisible threads that connected your hearts. Notice how she handles conflict now. She preempts your concerns, deflects questions, and sometimes even creates arguments where none should exist. That's not random. That's strategy. She's maintaining the boundaries of her secret without ever having to openly confront the truth. Every fight, every misdirected irritation, every sharp word is a small barrier, keeping you from seeing the full picture. And the cruelest part, you often participate without realizing it. You modify your behavior, censor your thoughts, soften your words, all to keep the peace, all to avoid triggering her. And in doing so, you enable the very deception that's eroding the foundation of your relationship. And men, It's subtle, but the way she now perceives you changes everything. Your flaws are suddenly magnified, your habits irritating, your love suffocating. The man you are, the one who stood by her, trusted her, gave her stability, becomes the obstacle in her mind, the problem to justify her choices. She doesn't admit it. She can't admit it, because admitting it would collapse the mental fortress she's built to protect her secrets. And so she reframes the world: you are controlling, you are restrictive, you are inadequate. And she convinces herself that leaving, stepping outside the life you've built together, is not a betrayal, it's a necessity. The very love you offered becomes the evidence she uses to justify leaving it behind. And men, take a moment to feel that weight. The sudden criticism, the defensive walls, the secret glow, the distant intimacy, they are not coincidences. They are signals, patterns, warnings that your instincts are already picking up. And while it's painful to face, it's also empowering. Because once you see it, you can no longer ignore it. Once you recognize these attitudes, you stop walking blindly. You stop accepting excuses. You stop giving your heart away to someone who's already divided it elsewhere. And here's the final, most important truth. You cannot save her from the consequences of her choices. You cannot make her faithful. You cannot force honesty. And you cannot restore integrity where it's been abandoned. But you can save yourself. You can preserve your dignity. You can protect your peace. You can trust your instincts. And in doing so, you ensure that when the dust settles, you remain whole, unbroken, and capable of real love. Love that doesn't ask you to ignore your gut, question your sanity, or compromise your value. You deserve a partner whose energy matches yours, whose honesty is unwavering, whose love doesn't hide behind secrecy or stolen thrills. You deserve a connection that doesn't leave you walking on eggshells, questioning yourself, wondering if what you see is real. You deserve truth, clarity, and reciprocity. And men, that's the point. Not revenge, not anger, not obsession with the betrayal, but clarity, awareness, and the courage to step away from what diminishes your spirit, even if it's the person you once loved most. So when you notice the subtle shifts, the phone obsession, the irritability, the unnatural glow, the physical disconnection, the preemptive defenses, and the reframing of you as the problem, listen to your gut, pay attention, and protect yourself, because the woman who cheats, who exhibits these behaviors, isn't just betraying you. She's betraying her own capacity for intimacy, honesty, and integrity. And the only way you win in this scenario is to refuse to participate in the deception, to refuse to compromise your heart, and to refuse to settle for anything less than the love and respect you deserve. Your instincts are your compass, men. Trust them. Don't let guilt, love, or hope blind you to the reality before your eyes. You are not the problem. You are not failing. You are awake, aware, and capable of choosing what is right for your own life. Hold on to that. Guard it fiercely. And remember, a love that requires you to ignore the truth is not love. It's a trap. Protect yourself. Preserve your peace. And when the time comes, step forward with clarity, dignity, and the knowledge that you deserve honesty, respect, and a partner who is fully present in every moment with you.